In this session, we want to take a look at some of the more common DNS resource records. We're going to start by looking at the A record, address mapping record, which is an IP4 resource record. The IP4 resource record, which is the A record, is used for the conversion of a domain name to a corresponding IP address. Next, we have what we call the Quad A resource record. And this record specifies an IP6 address and is used for the conversion of an IP address to a domain name. Next on our list, we have what we call a CNAME record, known as canonical record. And this record specifies a domain name that has to be queried in order to resolve the original DNS query. What does that mean? If my domain is called contoso.com, what I could do is to create an alias for that name. And I might call that alias abatus.com. So in order for you to access Contoso, the name that you're going to see, that you're going to be accessing is an alias name, which would be the alias that I gave to contoso.com. Next, we have what we call an MX record. And this is a record used for mail exchange servers. So the MX record specifies the mail exchange server that you need to use, and it allows you to route emails to the proper host. Our next record is called the name server record. It's known as an NS record. And the NS record specifies an authoritative name server for a given host. Then we have the PTR record, which is the reverse lookup record. And this one is opposed to the forward DNS resolution. The PTR record is used to look up domain names based on IP addresses. We also have the start of authority record, which we had looked at previously. And this record specifies information about the DNS zone. This record includes the primary name server. So whichever server is the primary name server for that domain, or whatever other zones you have, the start of authority record will have the primary name server, the email of the domain administrator, the domain serial number, and several other counters that deal with refreshing the zone. We're going to take a look at creating the MX record. And so we're going to go into DNS to create that record. To create the MX record, we want to click on Tools, DNS. We want to expand the forward lookup zone. And we want to expand Contoso by double-clicking on it. Then we want to right-click on the Contoso zone. And we want to select New Mail Exchange. And then we want to type the fully qualified domain name. We're going to leave the host or child name blank. So I want to click in the fully qualified name box and we're going to type server1.contoso.com. ver1.contoso.com. We also want to change the priority, and this is how you know which server to use for the mail server by the priority number. So let's say that I put 5 for the priority, then the default priority is 10. So the lower the number, then we know that that is the server that is going to be chosen first. So we're going to click on 5. Clicking on 5. And then we want to click on OK. We want to scroll down a bit so we can see the MX record that we created. So we click the scroll bar once and we can see the mail exchange record here. Let's just click on it. And that is how we create the mail exchange record. To create any of the other resource records, you would simply right click on the Contoso zone and select the record, and you go through the wizard to create that resource record. This is the end of our session on some of the more common DNS resource records. I want to thank you for listening.